Okay, so earlier I mentioned that there's a bug in this program. So let's search for the word random. Now random appears when we create a new problem. And the issue is that if this is an empty range, so we have random, in 4 points in this entire program, right? I searched the entire program with this magnification glass over here. So if we have an empty range, then we're in trouble, okay? Now, notice that if level is equal to 1, for instance, then lower is 0 and upper is 5. If level equals to 2, then lower is 5 and upper is 10. In other words, upper minus lower is always 5. So this will not cause an issue, okay? So if there will be an issue, it might be here or here. Now let's look at this piece of code right over here. Above answer, well, we need to see what that is. We're looking at a range from answer plus 1 to above answer. Let's look for above answer. Above answer is right here. Now what is above answer equal to? It equals to answer plus 5. Interesting. So this seems perfect. This seems perfect. Right? This could not cause a bug. Right? That's what it seems, at least. And technically that's correct. Right? Suppose answer is, say, 712. Then this number right here is 713. And above answer is 712 plus 5. So this is a non-empty range. But I promised a bug. And I said it's an issue with having an empty range. So maybe it's right here. So now we need to look at below answer. And below answer has something really interesting. So it takes the maximum value between 0 and answer minus 5. Why didn't we define it at answer minus 5? Because I did not want negative values. You see, if answer equals to 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4, then answer minus 5 is negative, and I don't want that. So for example, if answer equals to 0, in other words, number 1 and number 2 turned out to be 0, then answer minus 5 is negative 5, so we'll set below answer to be 0. So that means below answer and answer are equal, and we'll have an empty range. And I just would like to demonstrate this real quick. So I opened a playground, and let's just demonstrate this real quick. So let's do print int.random in 5 to 5. This will work fine. It's just going to display the number 5. It might take forever because this is so slow. The playground is kind of slow for some reason, but we'll get the number 5. So we got the number 5. On the other hand, if I change this to a less than sign and press play, then this is an empty range and it's going to crash. So fatal error, can't get random value with an empty range. Okay, so how can we resolve this? Well, there's many ways to resolve this, and we want just a simple way to resolve this. So first of all, this max thing just seems like a source of trouble. So I'm going to put it back to answer minus 5. Okay? And now I know below answer and answer minus 5 are not too close together. The problem is that this value might be negative. So I'm going to change lower to be just level times 5. But now lower equals to upper. So now we have, well, it's not really interesting, right? It's not interesting at all. This game's going to be a really stupid game, right? And it probably will crash somewhere. But what we'll do is increase upper. So level plus 1 times 5. So if we're at level 1, you're going to get a problem with the number 5. That's the lowest possible digit. Now, you might not be happy with that, so we could think of a different solution. But this will resolve the issue, So you see, creating these random problems can be challenging, and really we have to give more thought to the design of this game. We just wanted to illustrate certain ideas here. We wanted to illustrate certain ideas, but of course, we could put a lot more thought in developing the level. Okay, so 8 plus 10. Notice that 8 is not 3 or 2 or 1, right? When we randomly selected number 1 and number 2, where's number 1? Here, up here. When we randomly selected number 1 and number 2, that's a value between 5 and 10. So 8 and 10 were taken randomly from 5 and 10. Again, number 1 was taken randomly from 5 and 10, and the same is true for 7. Again, between 5 and 10. We're hitting 10 quite often. Here, 7 and 6. 6 and 10. Now we're still on level 1. Now I just went up to level 2. In the next transition, we'll be randomly selecting from 10 to 15. And you see now we're in the number range 10 to 15. Right, these are all numbers 10 to 15. Soon I'll be going up to level 3. And we could give a little more thought to this game, that the player really sees the transition in the levels, because we don't really see the transition. Also, when I click on these buttons, maybe we'd like a nice little scale effect. Right? It's not really clear what I'm pressing on. And this game has a cheat, right? We should get rid of this red number. Right? We don't want to give away the answer, because I'm playing this game without really adding anything. So you see what a subtle error we had, an error that really rarely occurs, but it can occur. So we have to really give things a lot of thought and test our game. And finally, let's get rid of this red color. I think I did really well, so of course I've been cheating. New high score, well, I'm gonna call it cheater, right, because I was cheating. I mean, I've been cheating all along, right? Cheater's number 1, got 142 points. And now, actually, speaking of cheating, I'm going to go to this magnification glass over here. This is searching the entire app, and I think I called it cheat. Yeah, cheat color. Now, that was a great name because I can actually find it. It was in the options view. And so it was either red or black. So I'm going to use the black color for our text color. And let's get rid of this cheat color. Maybe I want to comment it out so I can use it later if I want to become a cheater again, right? Or I could just remove it from our code completely. Let's search for cheat now. It should only be in the comment. Yeah, it's only in the comment. So if I press Command period and Command R, so definitely we could greatly improve this game, adding more arithmetic operations, letting the user start from a different level, make the transitions between levels, more noticeable, maybe have balloons or have music. And now I have to actually think. So 7 plus 9 is 16. Maybe add a stopwatch. Like this simple game, we can make it much more complex. 7 plus 8 is 15, 14, 13, right? So, okay, it's cute game, but there's definitely room for improvement. But we already have a solid foundation, and expanding the game or using this in different contexts should be easy. And we really need to give a lot of thought to designing this game, because if we're smart, we notice that the last digit adds up to 7, and there's only 2 possible answers. So it's figuring out which of the 2 works, right? In that sense, the design of the game is very poor. Right? I see it ends with a 6, so it's one of these 2, and I guess it's this one, right? So of course we have to give a lot more thought to generating the problems. And of course, a more interesting game is when the user enters the answer, instead of having multiple choice, where you can use elimination, right? I'm using elimination here. This ends with an 8, so it's one of these 2 answers, right? So it's this one. And so on. Okay, and maybe we'd like the user to, and also I'm losing lives. Maybe when I lost a life, we should have some upsetting music or some sad emoji. Because when I messed up now, it wasn't clear that I messed up. I messed up twice. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of room for improvement, but I still think the game looks pretty cool, and I'd be more than happy to see code or suggestions from students, of improving this game, and I'd be happy to share it, in the Q&A. Great, so we're done here. We had an interesting discussion. So have an amazing day, and see you next time. Wait, I'm gonna mess up. Okay, I'm gonna call this honest this time. Honest, save. Let's go to the high scores. And I'm gonna get rid of this cheater. Be gone, cheater. Okay, cool. It actually looks quite nice. So have an amazing day, and see you next time.